Still, whatever we want to call this tradition, fair use, open source, public commons, digital sampling, everything up for grabs and equally viable, how such referential sampling plays out over time for the working artist, let alone that beleaguered, almost comically antiquated species, the individual in society, whether it opens outward to a rich world of dizzying possibility or flattens into a shallow, enervating plane of the already done, remains, to me anyway, yet another open question. When I talk about this flattening, I have in mind someone like the late critic John Leonard, whose gift for referentiality, for going culturally broad as a way of going artistically deep, for turning every review into a swinging cocktail party with himself in the role of chatty, thoroughly indiscriminate host, is both virtuosic and exhausting. Take, for example, his Times review of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. First, he ushers in the distinguished early arrivals like Tolkien, Joseph Campbell, and C.S. Lewis. Then he proceeds down the hall by way of Wonderland, Camelot, Brigadoon, Macondo, and Oz to the library, where Blake, Orwell, Lacan, Carroll, Cyrus of Herodotus, St. John of the Cross, St. Teresa of Avila, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Hindu Krishna, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and the Song of Roland await. Along the way, he stops to chat with some old friends, Mary Poppins, the Brothers Grimm, Scheherazade, Hercules, Godzilla, Sinbad the Sailor, the Flying Dutchman, Luke Skywalker, T.H. White, Snow White, Peter Pan, Caliban, Superman, and Doctor Who. And did we leave out Judith Krantz? Because you can be sure Leonard didn't. While it's easy and probably advisable to make fun of Leonard's promiscuous way with the cap's key, he's hardly unique. The entire oeuvre of George Steiner, as John Simon once said, reads like a university library card catalog hit by a tornado. This is more or less what critics do with books. They fling other books at the page like so much spaghetti and see what sticks. Never mind that half or more of such references as any honest writer will concede are unintentional. The reader gets the final say. Intertextuality, like all aspects of literary reception, is ultimately located in reading practice, writes the theorist Don Fowler. Meaning is realized at the point of reception, and what counts as an intertext and what one does with it depends on the reader. The very form of such criticism as Leonard's reminds us that connectivity is the right reader's province, that no work is ever truly singular, but demands to be read in the constellated lights of every other work, lights it both absorbs and then atomizes in myriad directions towards works already written and those far off in the dark matter waiting to emerge.